Overlooked remedies right here on Earth. Just think about it. How often have you reached for baking soda to freshen that fridge or whip up a cake without pausing to consider all the other ways it might benefit your body? What if I shared that this everyday white powder boasts a rich and intriguing history of unexpected applications? Some of them could truly transform how you approach your health during those senior years. Why isn't more discussion happening around the real potential of baking soda? And even more crucially, what could we all be overlooking in the process? In this guide, we'll delve into the under-the-radar health advantages of baking soda, highlight who needs to proceed with care, and detail precisely how to incorporate it in a safe and productive manner. If staying on top of your health matters to you and you're seeking clever, natural choices, you definitely won't want to skip this. Before jumping in, if you haven't subscribed already, I suggest you tap that button and enable the bell notification so you catch every single health tip crafted especially for you. If this video resonates with you, drop a 1 in the comments. If it doesn't quite hit the mark, type 0 to give me feedback on improving the content for you. 1. Relieve heartburn. Relieve heartburn and acid reflux. For so many seniors, heartburn turns into such a regular visitor that it's nearly viewed as an inevitable sign of getting older. Following meals, particularly those in the evening, that well-known burning feeling climbs up from behind the breastbone, heading toward the throat. It disrupts sleep, sours the mood, and frequently prompts us to grab antacids on autopilot. But imagine if one of the mildest and most reliable remedies has been sitting unnoticed in your kitchen cabinet the whole time. Baking soda, that basic white powder for baking or fridge freshness, possesses a potent natural capacity to counter stomach acid. Mixed into water, it creates an alkaline mixture that swiftly tames the flames of acid reflux. This isn't mere hearsay or handed-down advice from the past. It's straightforward, useful chemistry. When baking soda, sodium bicarbonate, encounters too much hydrochloric acid in the stomach, it produces salt, water, and carbon dioxide. Put simply, it halts the burn. In just minutes, that tightness in your chest eases up. The climbing acid that used to bother your esophagus recedes, and breathing feels more comfortable. Yet maybe even more significant than the explanation is the meaning behind this easy fix. It's an opportunity to regain ease without turning to pills or doctor scripts. For seniors, handling a handful of meds already, opting for something natural, recognizable, and budget-friendly feels like taking back a touch of autonomy. No run to the pharmacy, no unwanted effects. Just a brief calm from a teaspoon and some water. That said, it's not meant for daily routines nor for everybody. Baking soda includes sodium, which might not suit folks dealing with high blood pressure, kidney concerns, or heart problems. But for sporadic help, say after a heavy meal or lying down right after eating, it provides a compassionate, quick-working option. Picture wrapping up your evening with a soothing beverage, assured that your body is settling into relaxation instead of bracing for unease. That's the subtle wonder of this unassuming fix, not only for its effects, but for the tender way it achieves them. And as potent as that comfort might feel, it's merely the start of what baking soda water could offer for your overall wellness. Since the very same beverage that calms your gut could also be subtly aiding your kidneys, those unsung heroes in your body, steadily purifying every bit of blood. Wondering about the mechanism? Let's reveal the link between baking soda and kidney wellness, plus what every senior ought to understand about safeguarding these essential organs. If you're hanging in there and these points are proving useful, kindly comment a 1 below to show you're on board with me. Now, onward to point number 2. 2. Support kidney. Support kidney function. As the years add up, we start noticing more keenly the background operations in our body that have loyally operated out of sight for years. The kidneys rank among the most crucial, sifting out waste, regulating fluids, and aiding that fine-tuned acid-alkaline equilibrium that lets all organs hum along without a hitch. But as time passes, and particularly alongside ongoing issues like diabetes or hypertension, kidneys start to falter in performance. The shifts might creep in quietly: weariness, puffiness around the ankles, or alterations in bathroom habits. Yet they signal an underlying disruption that calls for attention, not ignoring. Enter baking soda, an ordinary pantry staple stepping into the picture in a surprising fashion. Studies from lately indicate that baking soda, or sodium bicarbonate more accurately, could provide substantial aid for individuals with beginning-stage chronic kidney disease, or CKD. In what way? It boils down to acid. As kidney performance wanes, the body can falter at clearing acid from the blood, resulting in a situation called metabolic acidosis. This state stealthily hastens kidney wear, sparking a harmful loop of worsening. Taken in modest, doctor-supervised doses, baking soda serves as a cushion, assisting in offsetting this surplus acid. It goes beyond short-term ease. It could temper the advance of kidney issues. An extended study discovered that CKD patients receiving sodium bicarbonate additions saw a more gradual drop in kidney performance, with plenty dodging dialysis needs entirely. That's beyond mere facts. It's an extra opportunity. A method to prolong self-reliance, sidestep intrusive procedures, and keep savoring the flow of everyday routines. Envision lending your kidneys a soft assist, not via pharmaceuticals, but with an item as routine as water plus a scoop of powder. For numerous seniors, particularly those navigating several scripts, the notion of bolstering wellness with a natural, inexpensive element delivers both serenity and optimism. Naturally, it requires thoughtful application. Baking soda has sodium, and for advanced kidney troubles, heart weakness, or swelling from fluids, wariness is key. Routine use warrants a chat with your healthcare pro, since the aim is aid, not added pressure. Even so, within the steady effort of upholding your body's inner equilibrium, this basic aid holds remarkable promise, and the benefits keep extending. While baking soda assists kidneys in handling acids, it could likewise soften one of the sharpest and most aggravating challenges seniors encounter: urinary tract infections. Might this pantry essential truly mellow that stinging, pressing unease? The evidence and home strategies might catch you off guard. Let's dive into it shortly. Ease urinary tract discomfort. 3. Ease urinary tract discomfort. UTI. Support. Scarcely any woes in later years prove as upsetting and exhausting as a urinary tract infection. For plenty of seniors, notably women, that fiery feeling, constant need to go, and persistent pelvic ache turn into recurring nuisances that arrive uninvited time and again. UTIs don't merely unsettle the body. They erode poise, rest, and mental tranquility too. And though antibiotics stay the go-to fix, what about when signs hang on amid outbreaks? What if a straightforward thing could mildly alleviate the bother, even by a bit? That's precisely where baking soda fits. Not as a full remedy, but as a mild, encouraging partner. Dissolved in water, baking soda turns alkaline, lifting the pH in your urine. This adjustment may appear minor, but it can tweak the inner setting enough to render it less hospitable for the germs sparking infections, especially E. coli, which flourishes in acid-heavy spots. Seniors prone to repeat UTIs frequently endure low-level swelling even absent a major outbreak. A less acidic urinary path might dial down the rawness and calm that everyday irritation physicians occasionally miss. Research is starting to reflect what countless folks have learned firsthand. In a particular study, women facing regular UTIs who included sodium bicarbonate in their regimen saw reduced episodes and noted diminished burning plus urgency. It's a modest tweak, half a teaspoon blended into warm water. Yet it can seem like a modest reclaiming of command when your system acts erratic. Beyond altering the makeup, this tiny gesture can deliver solace amid tense periods. It hands seniors an instant action to gain some ease while awaiting a visit or amid treatment rounds. It grants reprieve, sans leaning on another script. And in an era where elders often balance a slew of pills, that in itself fosters calm. Naturally, this isn't a stand-in for professional help. UTIs can escalate fast in mature adults, particularly with diabetes or catheters, demanding prompt seriousness. But for intermittent backing, and above all with doc oversight, baking soda water could prove a soft sidekick on the road to mending. And though it's heartening enough to learn baking soda might temper inner unease, its value extends further. For astonishingly, the identical blend that eases your urinary system could also hush those abrupt, aching gout surges hitting the joints out of nowhere. Might this identical pantry aid truly mellow an ordeal as fierce as gout ache? The response might well astonish. Let's peer closer. If you're tuned in still and deeming these nuggets worthwhile, drop a 1 in comments below to signal your presence. Now, pressing ahead to point number 4. 4. Help with gout flares. Flares. Should you have ever roused in the night's depths to a joint ballooned, flushed, and throbbing so fiercely that a mere sheet's touch proves torturous, you grasp gout's harsh side. It's beyond mere hurt. It's that piercing, knife-like misery that commandeers your routine, frequently ambushing unannounced. For numerous seniors, gout seems a bodily revolt, all the more so after striving to refine diets, remain mobile, and heed medical guidance. And still, the surges persist. At gout's core lies uric acid, a compound amassing in the blood and hardening into crystals within joints, chiefly the big toe, ankle, or knee. These minuscule shards mimic glass splinters beneath the surface, goading the immune response into fierce swelling. Fixes aren't straightforward, and drugs hold their spot. But suppose you could enact a soft home measure to bolster your system in curbing the attack's rate or intensity? Baking soda, improbable as it sounds, demonstrates promise in precisely that. Its strength stems from its alkaline nature. Sipping a correctly mixed baking soda water blend can gradually nudge your body's pH to a more alkaline tilt. Why the relevance? Uric acid grows more dissolvable and simpler to expel via urine in alkaline surroundings. Thus, fewer crystals develop and existing ones might break down swifter. For seniors enduring serial gout episodes, this easy shift may deliver tangible solace. Various budding studies propose that sodium bicarbonate, under physician watch, can lower blood uric acid levels and mitigate the metabolic skews heightening flare risks. Though not a solo therapy, and far from supplanting ordered meds, it could act as a preventive ally, a minor daily stride toward reduced anguish. Even weightier is the symbolism of this practice: empowerment. Powerlessness looms large when the body turns rogue, but blending a teaspoon of baking soda into warm water and drinking it leisurely transcends a mere fix. It evolves into an interval of tending, of self-worth, of heeding your body's muted cues. But baking soda's utility doesn't halt at the joints. Much like it can melt bodily crystals, it might also offset oral remnants, the acids and microbes fueling foul breath and unease. Might the identical mild blend aid in brightening your breath and bolstering mouth wellness? The truth behind that easy grin might startle. Let's reveal it next. 5. Soothe mouth sores and bad breath. With advancing age, we tune in sharper to the minor vexations once brushed off with ease. A tiny lesion inside the mouth, a parched, acrid flavor, the soft shame of pondering if breath falls short of fresh. These rank among daily hurdles for many seniors. Not grave enough for drugs, yet intrusive, sufficient to erode relaxation, assurance, and conversational comfort. Be it a persistent canker, tenderness from prosthetics, or mere shifts in mouth health from pills or aridness, the battle persists quietly. Baking soda, a trusty kitchen ally, can extend a compassionate, potent answer. Its place in mouth maintenance isn't novel. Prior eras relied on it for breath revival and tooth polishing. But its efficacy springs not solely from lore, it's rooted in science. Sodium bicarbonate offsets mouth acids, forging a setting where damaging microbes falter in growth. Such unchecked bacteria spur not only stale breath, but also oral rawness, buildup, and even periodontal woes. Employed as a soft rinse, merely half a teaspoon in warm water, baking soda delivers calming ease to chafed areas. For those susceptible to oral ulcers or prosthetic irritations, this wash can lessen the smart and foster mending. It avoids the sting or aggravation of booze-laden rinses. Instead, it subtly evens the mouth's pH, affording tissues recovery space in tranquility. Seniors grappling with arid mouth or meds altering saliva flow often deem this mild rinse settling, nearly renewing. And regarding breath, that unseen yet potent element of our bonds, baking soda exceeds odor cover-up. It tackles the source, reshaping the chemical backdrop so stink-producing elements can't flourish. The outcome? A fresher mouth sensation, bolstered boldness to converse and grin, and a petite habit morphing into everyday self-honor. It's a nudge that even tiniest gripes merit notice. That poise extends beyond dodging illness, touching on wholeness, from limbs to grin. But what's downright impressive is baking soda's span beyond the mouth. Just as it counters acid and quiets inner chafe, it might further aid your system's rebound post-strenuous effort, curbing tenderness and aiding weary sinews in quicker revival. Intrigued by how a basic sip could render bodily motion smoother and less hurtful? Let's probe that next. 6. Reduce post-exercise soreness. For countless seniors, keeping in motion stands as a boon, a means to sustain autonomy, fortify the ticker, and sync with life's cadence. Be it a dawn stroll, tending the garden under afternoon rays, or a soft limber in therapy, Motion yields liberty. Yet that liberty frequently trails ache, the sort sneaking in next day, rigidifying joints, clenching fibers, and rendering prior easy chores doubly taxing. And within those hushed spells of unease, like perching bed's brim or clutching a banister, many elders muse. Is this simply aging's essence? Reality holds that certain ache proves innate, even beneficial. It's the frame's method of reconstructing and toughening. But a line exists twixt essential mending and persistent twinge curbing delight. Herein lies baking soda water's understated part, plain and unpretentious. Though we typically link sodium bicarbonate to cookery or tummy woes, it doubles as an innate internal cushion. Post-motion, sinews gather lactic acid, fueling that throbbing, fiery twinge termed delayed onset muscle soreness. Sipping a modest glass of baking soda water soon after exertion might offset portions of that acid, mellowing the inner milieu and hastening sinew rebound. It won't wipe out weariness, but it can blunt the sharpness, permitting freer motion come morn, uprighter stance, and swifter re-entry to cherished pursuits sans much pause. For elders freshly resuming activity after ailment or operation, this soft bolstering could spell the gap twixt persistence and surrender to irritation. A mental ease arises too from such handiness, such familiarity, yielding true backing. A teaspoon in water, a serene swallow, and a notion that your frame receives inward nurture. Not forcefully, not synthetically, but organically. That's beyond mere rebound. That's mending with grace. And maybe the loveliest aspect, this marks no endpoint for baking soda's aid. Much as it aids rebound from motion, it further upholds a core element. Steadying your frame's inner pH, the muted base for vigor, defense vigor, and cell vitality. Might a minor pH nudge sway your whole apparatus? You're on the cusp of learning. Let's delve further. 7. Support balanced body. Support balanced body pH. pH. Our frames brim with wisdom, astoundingly. Each inhalation, pulse, gut action, and cell fix hinges on a fragile chemical poise. Among that inner accord's prime facets lies something we seldom ponder: pH. More pointedly, the acid-base equilibrium of blood and liquids. Should it veer overly acidic, even faintly, it can render us weary, sore, swollen, and open to enduring health snags. And for elders, whose frames inherently shed buffering prowess over time, upholding sound pH grows ever more essential. Today's fare, laden with proteins, sweets, refined eats, and scant on crisp produce, nudges the frame acidward. Layer on tension, scripts, and reduced motion, and the frame might strain to cope. Though blood clings to a secure pH band, the frame's remainder, sinews, links, even skeleton, may quietly endure as it adjusts. Herein, baking soda in rawest guise can lend soft aid. A scant quantity, aptly thinned in water, functions as an alkaline pad. It sidesteps overriding innate mechanisms. It collaborates. It aids in quelling amassed tissue acids, lightening the faint load kidneys and lungs ceaselessly shoulder. Countless elders weaving a petite baking soda sip into routine a handful times weekly note sharper clarity, lighter load, and heightened pep. No sorcery, merely astute, deferent chemistry. And it's no pursuit of fringes. This shuns morphing your frame into an alkaline engine per certain trends. It's tender aid. It's equilibrium. Aiding your frame's innate efforts with marginally less toil. When inner surroundings balance, all streams smoother. Gut work, vitality, slumber, even guard reaction. Yet this innate re-equalizing yields yet another unforeseen perk. It transcends organs and cells. It can touch your frame's exterior too. For just as blood acidity sparks inner malaise, it can sway skin too, breeding aridity, prickle, and chafing. Might a baking soda bath or wash settle skin akin to stomach soothing? The reply might astound, and it could rank as the mildest dermal fix lurking openly. Let's glance. Conclusion. A small step, a lasting impact. Small step, a lasting impact. As maturity dawns, we grasp what youth frequently misses. Genuine wellness stems not from trend hunts or hasty patches, but from heeding the frame's soft cues and replying with tenderness, insight, and plainness. Baking soda may appear unremarkable. It's stark, cheap, and prone to slip mind, but as witnessed, it harbors a muted potency, an enduring legacy of cure affirmed by swelling evidence. From tempering digestion and calming sore links to upholding kidney work and reviving breath, this modest dust extends a wellness that whispers, not roars. It toils softly, persistently, and amid a realm where drugs and cures can overwhelm, the allure of such an innate, reachable thing lies in granting command. Once more, it cues that cure needn't always arrive scripted. At times, it sparks with a scoop, water vessel, and readiness to tend self afresh. But the paramount takeaway transcends baking soda. It's your entitlement and duty to probe paths, pose queries, and wisely tend your own frame. You've endured ample to sense no lone fix suits all, hence equilibrium and prudence count. Ever confer with your doc pre-shifts, notably amid conditions or steady pills. Baking soda packs punch, but like all potent things, demands sage use. And with these perks unveiled, you grasp not mere facts, you clutch discernment. Whether sampling baking soda water solo or merely stowing this lore near, you've advanced toward richer, more conscious existence. Thus, cheers to petite elements sparking grand shifts, to maturing not as waning, but honing. And to you for embracing inquisitiveness, for valuing wellness, and for remaining receptive to paths yet unfolding. Should this resonate, pass it to a cherished one. You never foresee whose path a dash of sagacity might grace. Your path endures, it merely deepens, and your spot is spot on. These takeaways aim to spur full, true living. Now I'd relish your voice. Pause to muse and share a single lesson gleaned and slated for your life. Let's bolster one another on this trek to welcoming these realities. If this video pleased, kindly comment a 1. If otherwise, comment 0 freely. Your input weighs much. Recall to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube for a kin fare. Thanks for viewing, and cheers to scripting life your way.